Yeah, 20 minutes away from 8 now. 20 minutes away from 9 now. Here, okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Hard left round bell. Straight 50 into jump. Oh, flat right, then left 100. Hard left right printer. Hard right over big jump. Easy left past shoe, 50 maybe. Straight 100, easy left to finish forward. Download your free paper rally car at brother.co.nz. Brother, co-driving rally in New Zealand.
Is it an ad for a car or is it an ad for a printer? What is it?
What is it? It's what one woman in Lower Hutt is calling the best ad I've seen in many, many years. That woman, of course, is my mother.
Vaughn Davis, of course, from tgf.co.nz with ads, social media and aeroplanes. That is the Brother World Rally Championship ad.
Sponsorship ad, yeah. And, the reason I put that on, firstly, I think it's a pretty good ad. But, selfishly, I've been sitting here for, it must be 18 months, 2 years, talking about other people's ads, and I thought I'd show you one of mine. I'll bring in something I made myself. Yeah.
What aspect? The creative, the idea, the concept, the execution?
Well, the creative direction. And most of the listeners probably don't know what that means. So it's coming out with concept in the first place, in this instance. And then it's really just watching a whole lot of other really, really, really clever people bring it to life.
So you're Don Draper.
I'm
sitting at your desk, going
with my whiskey,
yeah,
I know.
And then you buzz through to your receptionist. Can you get blah blah?
My receptionist is a goat.
Yeah, and then can you get them in here? Then they all file in front of you. You tell them the idea, and you say, "Go on."
Here's the idea. Yeah,
right, I like
that. Facetiously, I defined creative direction a little while ago as adding that final 95% to other people's ideas, but in this case, this is an idea I had for an agency called Radar that I was working with, who we won the business to promote Brother Printers sponsorship of the Rally of New Zealand. So the idea is, little rally car comes out of the printer, races around an office. It's pretty good fun. So we had to talk to actual rally navigators to work out what they say when they say left a bit, right a bit, and get it all authentic.
Just play the computer game.
Yeah, well, yeah, that would have been another way to go, but an awful lot of fun. Animated by a company called Kaleidoscope up in New Zealand.
Is it any good for the client, or is it just for an ad award?
Oh no, it's not for an ad award at all. I'm not interested in ad awards. No, absolutely. This is fully to get people engaged with the whole rally sponsorship. And you can download a car. You can download that actual car, or there's 3 cars in the ad. Yeah, an A4 paper, cut it out, stick it together, and you're done. Rum, rum.
Could you live with yourself? Could you?
Yeah, this is pretty hard hitting stuff from M&C Saatchi. It's been out for a couple of months, but we'll just let it roll.
Is that the last one, Daddy?
Yes, precious. That's the last one.
Went to where a couple of months ago, which is sort of the beginning of house fire season, when people have got the heaters on and or cooking inside and all that sort of stuff. And has been given the nod as a contender for Cannes this year, which is the International Advertising Festival in the south of France. Starts at the weekend. Really hard-hitting, effective ad out of M&C Saatchi. They worked closely with the burns unit even to get the detail of the prosthetic burns on the little girl's arm. So pretty powerful ad, and typical New Zealand ad that wins awards overseas has got a punchline and a big laugh track, but this is going against the tide, so may well stand up against the other 34,300 entries in the Cannes Advertising Awards.
Because it's for the New Zealand Fire Service, is it one of those, what do you call it, clients where you...
Oh, not for profit, or... Yeah, I mean, there's... I can't remember how many categories there are. I think there are 70 or 80 categories, maybe.
But generally, the New Zealand Fire Service ads have been really good, right?
Yeah, they have been, because they sort of fall into that, a good cause, pro bono. Almost. Yeah. Well, this is paid. I mean, they would have paid... The Fire Service would have paid the agency, but... it's easier to do stuff like that than for a box of soap powder. But Cannes, interestingly, is a barometer of how the advertising industry is going. There may well be a global recession. Yeah. But I read a press release last week. 19% more entries into this advertising festival than last year. 19% more, and these entries cost €350 on average each. So these guys are raking in $20 million in entry fees, and that's before you get I think it's €1,000 if you want to go to the event.
Wow, does that go to what, prize money or something?
Well, no, the prizes. If you win one of the prizes, it's a shitty sort of metal line, which if you lose yours and you want to get a replacement one, I think it's about €1,200. But they're worth about as much as the average doorstop. So the money don't go on prizes, brother. The money goes on profit.
It's just the fame.
Yeah, but do invite me back if you want me to judge again. If you're listening, I'll come.
Yeah, when did you last judge it?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, sweet trip. Okay.
What do you want to talk about next?
Well, I don't know. How are we going for time? We want to talk about how much do you utterly despise working in advertising?
Yeah, go on.
This is funny. This is a promo video for one of the speeches that's been given at Cannes this year, and this is about how to make your people happier. One third of people leave ad agencies every year, so it's that sort of turnover. So someone's doing a talk about that, and they made a video about life inside the creative department, and this, believe me, is what it's like.
God, first 6 months concepting out thing, and then once we get an idea that we like, we bring it up. We gotta show 80 million people who all want to shove their in there. It's like, Jesus, it's not a hooker. You can't keep it over and over and over again, and then the client.
And so on. That's actually a lot closer to the truth than Mad Men, folks. Believe me. Yeah, the pain of having your idea ripped to shreds. Probably more true in America, where 6 months between having an idea and seeing it on screen is not unusual. But geez, if that happened here, people would be tearing their hair out. Absolutely tearing their hair out. But a pretty funny video. What's the thing to search for? I can't remember.
Well, it's on adweek.com. Search for how you utterly despise working.
How much do you utterly despise working in advertising? Oh, it's a great game. It's a great game. Oh, then we've got the dancing Boeing 747. This is pretty
so
good.
on to aeroplanes now.
Aeroplanes, yes. Technically, probably not an aeroplane. Technically, probably just a bunch of spare parts in the shape of an aeroplane.
Yeah.
This was filmed in the Mojave Desert in May, so last month, but it's sort of gone a bit bananas.
So it's just a large Boeing sitting there.
Yeah.
Just sitting there.
Just sitting there.
Not on or anything.
No, not on, because it's got no engines. So the boneyard in the Mojave is where the airplanes go to get taken apart and pulled into usable parts and pots and pans. And this 747 from Southern Air, which I think might be Southern Air Transport, which is a sort of a CIA associated cargo airline run out of Atlanta. I've had some dealings with in the past. Has had its engines removed, its cockpit removed, or cockpit contents. And when the wind gets under it, the damn thing just about takes off. It's pretty impressive.
So the nose just is lifting.
The nose is
it's
lifting.
still sitting there, and it's just, there is some beauty in that, because it shows you just how damned aerodynamic and amazingly made these aircraft are.
So if you're one of these people who go, how the hell does those airplanes ever get off the ground? Watch this video, and you'll go, how do they ever stay on the ground? The comments thread's pretty interesting. One of the top comments is, and that's why my ex-wife should never sit at the back of the airplane, which I think it's not very nice. But there's a good explanation of how that stuff works. If you've got a lot of the light airplanes, you see flying around, it's entirely feasible. They could take off with 0 speed.
Yeah.
It's just sitting on the ground.
Okay, now the one thing that's made social media douches out of a bunch of people this week.
Oh, I think that's a little bit unkind.
You think?
I think that's very unkind. This is interesting. So Shell, who you may know from here known as Z, I believe, has plans to drill in the Arctic, which doesn't make many people happy. And I started seeing a bunch of noise about this in the last couple of days from people saying, oh, look, how could Shell be so stupid? How could Shell needs to go back to social media school. This is a social media #fail. And what Shell had supposedly done was on their website themed Let's Go Arctic, because Let's Go is their advertising line. They had invited people to mash up Arctic images with their own headlines to create interactive content about shell drilling in the Arctic. And people did, and they made all these scathing pieces of content about you can't make oil from a dead fox, or all this sort of things. Imagine polar bears and sort of snarky headlines. It's a pretty convincing site. However, when you click on 90% of the links, you find that they don't work, so you don't have to dig very far. And when you click into the story, there's a little story on there about the drilling ship, which is very well written. But when you dig in it, what does it say about the glory hole? I think that's a phrase that gets my mind, catches my attention.
Well, it says they're going to send a culloch there. It was built in 1983. They're talking about using vintage machinery.
Vintage machinery, yeah, that's right. Heritage equipment.
Basically heritage equipment. and it's tried and tested technology. Among the Cullick's exciting technologies are a 24-foot diameter glory hole bit for punching holes deep in the ice.
A glory hole bit. Yeah, so
You don't have to be a scientist to look at this website and say, well, actually, it's taking the piss.
Yeah. They're not so much drilling a hole as yanking your crank.
Yes.
But by crikey, a lot of people fell for it. I'll be interested to see how this develops in the next week or so. I expect to see mainstream media covering this as a straight story. I wouldn't be surprised. Shell massive social media failure. But I really want to know who's behind it, because a lot of work has gone into this, and they're actively moderating it. So you can go and make your own content, and if it's a piss take of Arctic drilling, it stays. If it's just a test or a piss take of the site itself, it gets deleted pretty quickly. So people are moderating it, and there's been a lot of work gone into this. Be interested to see who's behind it.
The website is arcticready.com.
Arctic Ready.
And that has been an episode
of
Ads,
Social Media,
and
Aeroplane
with Vaughn Davis from tgf.co.nz. The last one.
Hey, that was cool. It feels like just yesterday, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Sitting in a cafe, sizing each other up, going,
I don't know if you're really
this guy,
good for
I
the
don't know.
radio.
Anyway, it's been real.
Yeah,
high
it's
points
been
were
choice.
high points for you. What have been the high points? What have been the high points?
The high points.
I've got a high point.
Have
What's
you?
Yours? Yeah.
It was. Oh, actually, no. Hang on. Before we go, I've just to.
What?
Yes. I've
Oh,
got a
you
gift.
bought a gift!
I bought a gift.
I was going to bring a gift, but I thought, you've got a baggage. You're probably flying economy, so you've got a baggage allowance.
Almost forgot. Forget about the high points. Let's go straight to the gifts for an appreciation of your months and years of service here at Kiwi on the Radio Wammo show.
Rubber band powered history airplane.
Yeah.
Wow. How is it contain all 6 of those, or just one of those? Oh, one of those.
You put that together. What is it? A P something?
It's a Boeing P-26 pea shooter, which some listeners will know was a 1930s fighter in the service of the United States Army Air Corps.
There you go.
Very cute little airplane. I love the colour scheme with the yellowy, orangish wings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what you should do is you should take that up in your plane.
And I don't have a window. My opening window is only like this. I don't know, the size of a sandwich, if you like. It's only big enough to spit wine out of if you're doing wine tasting. I discovered once. But no, it's been real. I think the high point for me was the live from a Paris toilet.
That was
cross.
it was cool.
I enjoyed that, and that ended up, being that ended up in the Westpac Instant Saver Award entry video. So it sort of went worldwide. Yeah. It was seen all over the world.
Oh, that's cool. And and also on a rooftop in Venice Beach.
The Venice Beach rooftop with the $5 Top Gun sunglasses.
Yeah, that's
unforgettable. All right.
Choice. Good times.
Choice.
Thanks,
See ya.
Vaughn
Bye-bye,
Davis on
everybody.
Twitter. tgf.co.nz. Here is